Hi, my name's Ian Swanston and welcome to Closers. Closing sales techniques and when to use them is one of the most common inquiries we receive from sales professionals and sales managers. Whilst we completely sympathise and understand the need to close more sales, unfortunately the need for closing sales techniques is actually an indication of a more deep-rooted sales problem. If you can imagine for a minute that you have a bad cold and you go for an appointment at the doctor's. As you walk into the doctor's office and sit down, he may ask, "How can I help you?" To which you reply, "I have a runny nose." What would your opinion be of the doctor if he produced a box of tissues? The doctor would be guilty of treating the symptoms, not the underlying problem. In reality, after you've explained that you have a runny nose, your doctor would use a follow-up question such as, "Are you experiencing any other problems?" If you truly had a bad cold, you might say, "Well, my throat is a bit tender." Again, the doctor would use another follow-up question such as, "Anything else?" Note how the doctor is never anxious to jump in. You answer, "Well, I think I have a bit of a fever." Only after a full diagnosis will the doctor prescribe any medicine. Hence the saying in sales training, prescription without proper diagnosis is malpractice. Using that simple analogy, let's rerun the closing sales techniques problem past a sales doctor, albeit in abbreviated form for the sake of time. Sales manager, I wonder if you could come in and speak to our sales team. They are a really great bunch of guys, but they just need some help with some closing sales techniques to get some deals over the line. Sales doctor, well, that's not uncommon. I hear that a lot. Do you mind if I ask, when you say they're not closing enough sales, what steps or process do your salespeople follow to make sure your prospects are qualified to close? Sales manager, we get the team to use the milestones that our CRM has in place. Sales doctor, okay, that makes sense, but can I ask what questions your people are asking to ensure the prospect is qualified to move from one stage of your CRM to the next? Sales manager, I would say they're all using different questions and some are maybe using more questions than others. I guess it might not be a closing sales techniques problem after all. In the example I've just demonstrated, note how the questions lead the prospect through a process of self-discovery, where the prospect discovers for him or herself what really is the root cause of the problem. Sales professionals, like doctors, know that most prospects misdiagnose their own situation and ask for solutions to treat the symptoms, not solutions to treat the problems. So, closing sales techniques may well be a problem that your sales team suffers from. However, most typically, any problem that you encounter in the sales process is rooted somewhere earlier on in your sales process, as the example we just went through clearly demonstrates. As a quick reference, you might want to use the following checklist before you even give a prospect any form of presentation, let alone try to close them for business. Number 1, does the prospect have a gap between what they have now and what they would like to have in the future? Or what is the gap between where they are now and where they would want to be after you've delivered your product or service? Number 2, does the prospect recognize that gap? And are they committed to closing the gap? Number 3, does the prospect have adequate resources, one of which those resources will be money, that they're willing and able to utilize to close that gap? Number 4, have you clearly identified the prospect's decision-making process and all those involved in the decision-making unit? Number 5, what is it the prospect would need to see or hear in a presentation that would make them say yes? So, in summary, the best sales professionals don't need to use closing sales techniques, as their prospects will manage to close the sale on themselves. Once you master this, you will find selling is much easier and a much more enjoyable process for both you and your prospects. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to our channel. You can also find more information at www.closers.com.